Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Good night, even. My name is Joanna Daniel. If this is your first time catching one of my live broadcasts, and I'm a counselor, a speaker, and an author. I work with adult survivors of childhood trauma and women who experience abuse. And I do that through conferences, retreats, and courses. So today, I am talking about what the subject of healing, and that's what we do, that's what we talk about all the time, but I want to talk about it from a different place today. So I have some good news and I have some not so good news. I'm going to start with the not so good news first regarding healing. As I said in the video, so the title, sometimes we have a view of healing that is not correct, and it impedes our progress. It stops us from actually healing. So healing is work. Healing is hard work. Sometimes healing is long, hard work. That's the bad news out of the way. Although healing is sometimes long, hard work, it gets better. It gets better with time. So I'm going to talk about sometimes, what it is and why is it hard and why is it long, and some of the things that you must do, friends, in order to experience the joys of what the rest of us are experiencing when we said we have done our journey of healing, or we're continually on our journey of healing, but we're experiencing breakthroughs. We're understanding ourselves. We're gaining self-awareness. We're changing behaviors. We're changing automatic responses. We're understanding our automatic response. We're understanding the way trauma has impacted us in our lives, and we're making changes day by day, and we're experiencing the joy and the fullness that comes with that. So this is what it looks like. So I know that there's a view of healing, if you just think right, or if you just do these things, if you just do self-care, if you just do some surface stuff, then you're going to be okay. And the people who have experienced trauma are realizing that, well, I'm doing these things and I'm not okay. What's the difference? What's going to make the difference? Okay. So here's some of the things that happen when we experience trauma. Events that have an emotional connection get stores in the brain. I don't remember who says that to quote them. I think it may, yeah, I'm not going to say, I don't remember who says it, but it gets stores in the brain. It's in our memory. We have long-term memory and we have short-term memory. We have what we call implicit memory, explicit memory, and procedural memory. We have memory that is trauma related, memory that is pain related. All of that is stored in the brain, and different parts of the brain have different functions, right? So like our prefrontal cortex, our frontal lobe, is where we do our reasoning and our thinking. Our amygdala is where memory that is emotional is stored. So for example, when you get triggered, when you're walking down the road and you see something, or you hear a voice, or there's a smell, or somebody says something, and you start to feel anxious, your breathing is labored, your palm is sweaty, you start to sweat all over your body, and your knees are like jelly, and your tummy is like butterflies, and your shoulders is tense and stiff, your head becomes fuzzy and you can't think, and you feel and you're in shock and you're immobilized. Or all of that happen, and there's a rush of adrenaline and you run. All of that is going on. The brain and the body is communicating, and your brain goes where your memory about an event is stored, that was traumatic, that was harmful, that made you afraid. And your nervous system, because it's connected to your brain, reminds your body of that feeling, and it tells you that this is what you do when that happens. That is kind of like a really, really shortened version. So that's what happens in our memory. So our brain stores it, our nervous system stores it, so it's in our bodies, it's in our organs. Our kidney remembers, our liver remembers, our digestive system remembers, the tummy, the intestines remembers, the shoulders remembers, our back remembers. Every part of our body remembers what that was like when we experienced that pain, that trauma, whatever the trauma was, whether it was sexual trauma and that shock that happens, or whether it was the feeling of being unsafe when the parent left and you were on your own, whether you were with loving relatives or not, it does not matter. Your parent left, and your body and your mind stored a memory of loss. It stored a memory of sadness. It stored a memory of hurt. It stored a memory of confusion. It stored a memory of anger, of hurt. It stores these memories. Your body and your brain remembers it and stores it. So whenever somebody appears to be leaving you, or somebody presses a button that says, I'm leaving, in whatever way, that button gets pressed, and the memory that is stored in your, I think it's your implicit memory, when it stores there, it reminds you of that pain, and it tells your nervous system how to respond and what to do. So that's what's going on all the time with us, all the time, every day with us. So when we talk about healing, when we're doing healing now, here is what healing really is. Healing is understanding that, is knowing, and that's why I do videos here on my YouTube channel, in my group, on my Facebook page. Healing helps you to understand what's going on, what's in my brain, what's in my nervous system, facing the trauma that happens, just being aware of it, and being aware. Healing is education as well. It's you educating yourself around what happens when I experience rejection or abandonment, or when people experience sexual trauma, or living in a home where there was domestic abuse, when the divorce happened, when my parent had mental health, growing up in poverty. What are the things that happened to me that I need to become aware of? Education is a healing, right? What are the things that happened to me that I need to become aware of? Because I can tell you, it's more than empowerment and fancy words. It really is work. Okay, so that's some of the hard work that's required with healing. So the hard work is education, being aware of it, knowing how my body responds when I am triggered, knowing the things that triggers me. And sometimes the things that triggers us are so subtle. They are so subtle. You would not know that if a friend is upset with you, that triggers you. Because in your mind, to the child who experienced trauma, the sun's shining right on my face, so it might have a shadow. To the child that experienced trauma, that means I'm rejected. You don't love me anymore, and you're going to leave. So one of our automatic response to that might be a fight back, a pushback. I need to defend myself. I need to protect myself, because as a child you felt unsafe when people left. Healing means I need to understand how rejection and abandonment affects me. And I need to understand any sign that might look like somebody leaving, how that feels for me. Another example is you might experience sexual trauma, right? Healing requires you to understand what your triggers are, when they come, what makes them come, and what you can respond with in order to begin that journey of re-educating your brain and your nervous system. Healing is that re-education of your brain and your nervous system. And for those of us who of my colleagues are listening, when I do retreats, I tend to do the ladder that is in the polyvagal theory, because it helps people to feel safe, and it helps people to understand what safety feels like in their body and in their mind, and to know when they shift from that place of safety and how to get back. And so that work of healing is, I need to draw the curtain, but I don't want to move. That work of healing is learning what that is. Where is my place of safety, and what does it feel like? And here's the hard work: to day by day, learn how to get back to your place of safety. Learn what that feels like. When I'm safe in my body and in my mind, I'm calm. My breathing is fine. My palms are not sweaty. There's no butterflies in my stomach. My muscles in my shoulders are relaxed. My head is not in my shoulders. My back is relaxed. All is right with the world. It doesn't mean that the world is perfect. Doesn't mean that the world around me is perfect. It doesn't mean that there are no problems. It just means that all is right with me. I'm in my place of peace. I am not triggered. and nothing's going on. Healing also means that when I am triggered, I know what to do. And if I have to practice those tools 1,000 times, I'm going to practice them 1,000 times because I'm re educating my mind and my nervous system about what safety is in my body. So I'm re educating it. I'm doing it one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. And I'm telling myself, and I'm deep breathing, and I'm doing my stretches, and I'm walking, and I'm exercising, and I'm learning the types of exercise that works for my body in my condition, what that feels like, and I'm doing them for 1,000 times if I need to do them for 1,000,000 times until my body and my brain is re-educated and I have new memory pathways around what safety feels like in my mind and in my body. And that's the work of healing. Healing is work. And I'm smiling because I help people to do that work every day and I see people gain success. But the work has to be done. The work of day by day by day by day making changes has to be done. For those who know my story and have read my book, you know that I also experienced trauma. Sometimes healing means a diet change. Sometimes it means clearing space so that your body can begin to heal. When pain has been locked in too long and your digestive system needs healing too, because healing is not just a mental thing. If I can just think right, then I'm going to be right, because the body plays a role, right? The body also experiences pain, and sometimes it's a complete diet change, it's a complete lifestyle change sometimes for emotional healing even to take place. So though it's long hard work, better days come. Better days come, because when you've practiced those methods for the millionth times, what happens is after a while it's just automatic. You do it now without thinking. So if you're on my page, you know that I love the sea. It's my grounding place. It's my safe place. It's my, if I'm stressed and I see it, the stress just washes away. There's something about the waves and the sea. I don't know what about it, but it does that for me. I also love nature because, and there are lots of research that shows the restorative element in nature. You know, when you go in green spaces and you're seeing trees and hills and just valleys and just something about that really is healing to the mind and to the body. So I know those things about myself. I would encourage you, as you're on this journey of healing, learn those things about yourself and don't make anything be out of bounds. Like, I'm not doing that, I can't do that, that won't work for me. Understand what works for you and lean hard into those things and do them. But remember this. I want you to take this away, if nothing else. You will heal. You can heal. It is possible. It happens every day, and it will happen for you. It will happen for you. Don't tell yourself that you never will. Nobody never does anything, or nobody always does anything. Sometimes that's the pain telling you stories. Don't listen to the pain. Don't let it tell you a story about what you're going to be next year and next week. You know that for the here and now, the triggers are overwhelming. It's challenging, it's difficult. That's what's here and now, and that's what's true for you now. But if you lean hard into the coping mechanisms that you know, practice them. If it's one, keep doing it day by day by day by day by day. And then as you perfect that, do another one and do another one and do another one. But I want you to know, I wouldn't do what I do, and my many hundreds of colleagues wouldn't do what they do if we didn't believe that healing was possible. And on top of that, on top of all of that, there are promises. There's so many promises in scripture that God says, I will heal you of your wounds and restore health unto you. I hold those words. I take them at his word. I take him at his words because they're true, because I've seen him do it every day, because he did it for me and he'll do it for you. It's going to take you doing something. It's going to take you practicing. It's going to take you doing what you know. It's going to take you educating yourself. It's going to take you reading, listening to the podcast, listening to the videos, doing the suggestions. It's going to take you doing something. But friend, believe me, it can happen. Don't let the pain lie to you. Healing is possible, and it's possible for you too. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.